Yes,
Arizona than Palm Springs.
thank you.
Oh,
I have, my mother-in-law calls it our vacation house. I haven't taken one day of vacation.
Okay, we're ready to begin. Welcome to the October 1st meeting of the Rybrook Zoning Board of Appeals. We have a full complement of the board this evening. With us, we also have Village Council Robert Zitt, Building Inspector Steve Hughes, and Board of Trustees Liaison David Heiser. And the video is being brought to you by Fred Seifert, who is somewhere in the building. We have one application and a couple of minutes to go over this evening. The first application, if you're going to be making a presentation, please come to the podium, state your name, the address, the nature of the variance, and if you're representing the applicant, your relationship to the applicant. Our first application this evening is ZBA 24-014, Scott Schwartz and Stacy Schwartz, 35 Meadowlark Road, second story addition, one story garage addition, new front porch, new rear deck, and interior alterations. So I guess it'd be John.
Okay, John G. Scarlato, Jr., architect for Scott and Stacy Schwartz, who are in the audience. Figure I'll start with the photos of 35
In a second.
Meadowlark. You good?
Yep.
So,
You might want to move that mic a little closer.
okay, so this is kind of on the curve of Meadowlark. It's up near the cul-de-sac. So right now it's a ranch house. Walkout basement in the rear. Okay, so then that's basically the house. Okay, those are the pictures. Okay, so this is the site plan of the house. So what's unique about this property is it has the Tennessee gas line easement running across the property. So that's our hardship. So if you can see this line here,
And are you unable to enter that easement, or how does that work?
we can't do anything on that easement. So they have basically everything right behind the house. We can't touch. We can't build on it. So, and right now the driveway goes over part of the easement to get into the garage. So Stacy and Scott have been looking for another house in Rybrook for like 2 years. We've been going to different houses. They put bids in on stuff to try to get to a bigger house that makes more sense for them. And they've been unsuccessful at getting another house. So we always kind of said it's a ranch house, putting a second floor on it makes sense. It makes sense. The FAR works. Our issue is the gas line. So the proposal is to put a new second floor over the existing house and then get the garage out of the basement and get the driveway off the utility easement by building a one-story, two-car garage to the side of the house, which we would do, but in order to make it work, because the easement's on an angle and cuts across the yard, we can't really shove the garage totally on the side of the house. So the proposal was to put a front porch on the house and bring the garage out about 9 feet in front of the house and then do the front porch. So that way it softened it. We get a much smaller driveway coming in from the road. We pull the driveway off the curb so it's not as dangerous getting in and out. And we actually reduce the amount of impervious coverage on the lot. So, but in order to do this, we needed a front yard variance. So we're proposing to come out. So right now, we need a 40-foot front yard because it's an R20 zone, as opposed to like an R15. So we need 40 foot in the front. we were proposing to do a 30.3-foot front yard setback. So we need a 9.7-foot front yard setback to do the garage and the porch. The porch is actually less than the 9.7 because as the road curves around, the tightest part is, the biggest portion, this is the front yard setback line running across here. So the porch really violates it very little because the house is back as the road moves away from the house, but our issue is kind of the right corner of the garage, if you're in the garage facing the road. That's the worst case. It gets to less of a variance as you cut across the house.
How deep is the garage?
The garage is 22 feet. And it's actually, and the garage is like, has an angled wall at the back of it, so the garage is less deep in the one bay, and then
And if you weren't doing the porch, how much of a,
the garage is the issue, not the
Garage
porch.
is the issue.
not the porch, not at all?
I mean, the worst part of the garage is this corner part because of the triangle of what cuts off the garage to get the bays to equal. So we have the shortest bay to the right where we're coming in, where the triangle is, and then the other bay gets bigger. And the other issue is the existing house is supposed to be 15 feet off the property line, and it's 14.8, and we want the second floor to line up with the existing non-conforming house.
The major issue, obviously, is the front yard.
Yeah.
So the other one is,
Right.
you even have to speak to that one.
Right, and we had to go to the planning board, so we did go to the planning board. They directed us here because we knew we had to come here, and the planning board felt with the easement issues and everything else that they didn't have a problem with it.
Did or did not?
They did not have a problem with it. They actually supposedly was supposed to send something that said that they were in favor of it.
If that pipeline thing wasn't there, you would have just moved everything
If it
back?
wasn't there, we would have just shoved the garage to the side of the house, shoved
It wouldn't
back
have been
a
an
little
issue.
bit, and we would have been home free.
Okay.
And we're not asking for floor area, we're not asking for any other variances, we're just asking for the front yard because of the easement of the gas line.
Now, when I asked Steve earlier, I had indicated, why did this go to the planning board first? And it wasn't obvious to me, and the reason that it went to the planning board first was what?
The planning board changed a lot of their rules, but you can max out your FAR, but if you do more than a 50% increase in maxing it out and you need a zoning variance, you have to go to planning.
And that's why.
That's why it's unique, because most of the time now we max out and we don't have to go there. We used to, if you did more than a 50% increase in FAR years ago, the 50% triggered you have to go to planning, no matter you met zoning or not. And then a few years ago, they changed it so that you could max out and go more than 50, because the problem with really small houses, you hit 50% increase very quickly. So it's really the people in the smaller houses trying to, put a second floor over a 1,500 square foot house that were getting hit, when somebody in a 3,000 square foot house wouldn't get hit because it took a lot more to get over 50%. So they changed that. But what triggered it here was we need the zoning variance.
Yeah, I served on that committee that, quote, simplified life for all parties concerned.
It did, and the planning board lost a lot, yeah, and they have more free nights now.
I
Or
noticed.
at least meetings that aren't so long.
I noticed. Of the 27,000 plus square feet of the lot in an R20 zone, so it's substantially more than the R20.
Right.
How much of that is consumed by the easement? Can you do a quick,
I mean, I
Length times width?
want to say like half the lot's consumed by the easement, because the easement runs all the way across the entire.
so effectively, they don't really have the 27,000 square foot lot.
No, they have the lot, they just can't. They just,
But
they
they're
just,
they're
they just can't build on
penalized,
it.
they're penalized for it because.
But they can still have the yard, they can have a garden, they can have the playground equipment. They just can't put an in-ground swimming pool or build on it.
Okay. All right. My only concern obviously was going to be, could you have reduced that 30? But in order to meet the applicant's needs,
I mean, I kept it tight, and I felt if I gave it the 30 that most other houses had and your budding zone had it, nobody driving down that street on the curve is going to realize that house is closer. And we really wanted to make the bay fit 2 cars. Like if you're going to do the 2-car garage, it's nice to actually be able to fit 2 cars, because most Rybrook garages, you get 1 car and toys.
all right.
The question I have is on the garage. The garage is only 1 story, right?
Garage is only 1 story.
Is there, would the applicants be amenable to a restriction that they can't build on top of the garage?
I think they would be, and a FAR probably wouldn't let us anyway. But yes,
And do we need a condition that they can't expand the house out further?
Well, yeah, they can't go,
Or
they
I
can't
would
build
say,
where the
I would
porch
say
is.
that the garage can't be two-story,
Yeah.
is what I would.
Yeah, can you,
how I would
work on that?
And that's
condition?
okay with
So
your,
that we can
with you
put that
guys?
condition in, yeah, not building over
If
the
they, if they
garage.
need more space on that layout of that house.
Then they need to go
God
find
bless
an-
them, and
Yeah.
they really can't get to over the garage, because the bathroom's like right in the middle, so, like, if anybody wanted to go over that garage, it would be a challenge.
Yeah, it's also, once the youngest child hits 18 and you flight the paradise of Rybrook, the next person in might feel that they need
More space.
more space.
17 years till then.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we could tell you stories.
Exactly, exactly. Are there any other questions? Okay. Now that we've opened the public hearing, is there anyone in the audience who wants to speak in favor of the application? Anyone want to speak against the application? There being none, and it's my understanding, Steve, no one has written anything as part of the record? Okay. Can I have a motion to close the public
So
hearing?
moved.
Second.
Okay, one of the variances is de minimis. You heard the explanation for the defense of that. You know, and, you know, as you tour Meadowlark Road, you see a mixture of houses, some expanded and others not expanded. It's in one of those areas where it's changing, you know, and so, you know, it will not be, I don't think it will be out of character. Agree with that. Steve, is there any kind of water issue, since they are increasing substantial? Is there a need to capture water?
Yes, there'll be a need for a stormwater management plan that has to be submitted.
Okay, and that will be with Mike Nowak.
It'll be reviewed by Mike Nowak, yes.
Okay, but in your opinion, it will not have an adverse impact on the environmental conditions of the neighborhood?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, but never, there might be, as our health people say, there might be a pre-existing condition. So we just want to make sure. Obviously, it's self-created, and
It's not
and it's,
self-created.
huh?
Not self-created.
Yeah, he could have had a one-car garage. Chose two.
It's created by the easement, so.
Yeah, yes, and,
It's all self-created.
yeah. And the other one is this the smallest possible variance? And you concur with that? Okay, let me read the resolution. Glenn is so quiet tonight.
This was fairly straightforward.
Very good, okay. Notice he put the,
And I will say, John did present it very well tonight.
oh boy. Hey, get that on tape, John. Get
It
that
is,
on tape.
it is on tape.
Yeah.
You can use it
Whereas
in your website.
application has been made to the zoning board by Scott Schwartz and Stacy Schwartz, the applicant, for a front yard setback variance, side yard setback variance in connection with a proposed second-story addition, one-story garage addition, new front porch, new rear deck, and interior alterations on property located at 35 Meadowlark Road in an R20 zoning district on the northwest side of Meadowlark Road, approximately 350 feet from the intersection of Oriole Place and Meadowlark Road, said premises being known and designated on the tax map of the Village of Rybrook as parcel ID 129.84-1-5, whereas the applicant seeks relief from the following requirements of the Rybrook zoning code. Oh, it's such a formal resolution today, isn't it? 1, 250-19, Section H, Part 1, the minimum required front yard setback in an R20 zone is 40 feet, and the applicant's proposed garage addition and new front porch will result in a front yard setback of 30.3 feet, thereby requiring a variance of 9.7 feet. Secondly, a Section 250-19, Section H, Part 2, Section A, the minimum required side yard setback in the R20 zone is 15 feet. The existing dwelling has a pre-existing non-conforming side yard setback of 14.8 feet, and the applicant's proposed second-story addition will expand the pre-existing non-conforming structure, thereby requiring a side yard setback variance of 0.2 feet. Whereas duly advertised public hearing was held on October 1st, at which time all those wishing to be heard were given such opportunity, and the public hearing was closed on October 1st, 2024. Whereas the proposed action is a Type 2 action pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and accordingly no further environmental review is required. Whereas the board, from the application after viewing the premises and neighborhood concern, and upon considering each of the factors set forth in section 250-13, section G, part B, items 2A through E of the Rybrook Code, finds the requested variance will not create an adverse impact to the character of the neighborhood. Secondly, the benefits the applicant seeks cannot be achieved through another method feasible for the applicant to pursue that does not require the variance. 3, the requested variance is substantial. The requested variance will not create any adverse impacts to the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood. And 5, the need for the variance is self-created. Okay, now therefore be it resolved that the application is hereby provisionally granted until we vote, based on the following conditions. No permit or certificate of occupancy shall be issued until the applicant has paid in full all application and consultant fees incurred by the village in connection with the review of this application. And second, okay, Bob, do you want to read that, please?
Sure, should the applicant desire to build on top of the garage, they must return to their respective boards to do so.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, we agreed on all of that? Okay. All right, let's vote then. Steve?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Don? Yes. Application approved, 5 yeses, 0 nays. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Done.
John, take that compliment, because you never know
I'll
what's
give you
gonna
another one,
happen
John.
next
I thought
time.
your design was very creative, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
I try.
Glad you found a place in Rybrook. Okay, the next 2 items.
I think I told you last time, I live on Oriole Place. We get bus, which is nice too.
So if you see Santa running up and down the street, you know.
So the fact that close to you, is that a positive or a negative?
For them or for him?
It's definitely one or the other.
Okay, we have, oh gosh, we have 2
Minutes.
2 minutes. I just want to make sure I don't wipe this guy out here. Okay, and those are for what 2 months? Because, oh, there it is.
July and August.
July 2nd and August 6th. I read them, I had no problem with them. Ready to accept them?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, motion to accept both minutes?
So moved.
Okay, motion's accepted, motion to,
Wait, before we do that,
what do you want to do?
November 5th is Election Day. Are we having a meeting that night?
Steve, what's the story there?
We have something on the, in the hopper, so it's up to you guys, I don't know. We're open, the village is open, but, you know.
Yeah,
Can we change that date, honestly? Yeah.
Email survey and just check, I'm here.
I may or may not.
I hadn't
Anyway, but
realized
I
that.
realize it's Election Day.
Yeah.
You off?
So I guess the question would be, do we keep it in that week, or does it matter? Are we gonna have everybody here in
I
November?
may not be here, I'm not sure yet.
Okay, so no matter what day we,
Yeah, my schedule's a little up in the air for that week.
okay. Jamie, how about you?
Hang on.
What
The
would
week
be
of
the
the
free
4th?
nights? Because the other people are meeting on a Thursday or something like that?
Yes, it would have to be a Wednesday. A Wednesday.
The day after Election Day?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm around, but honestly, I would prefer it not be, not be on election day.
How significant would that application be coming up in November?
It's a gross area, it's not that, it's, for us, it's 1 hour, it's not that big, it's a GFA variance, on 300 square feet increase.
Is it something that, if we cancel the meeting completely, is it something that can be taken up in
I
December?
think they wanna move forward on it pretty.
Okay, there is a rush on it? Okay, then we should meet. What do you think?
That Wednesday, that Thursday, of that week, if you guys were available.
Say again, which day?
The Wednesday or the Thursday?
I'm good, for me, I'm good. Listen,
good.
If it's Tuesday, I'll be here, but my
Okay.
preference is, you know,
Wednesday?
yeah.
Wednesday I can't do. I can do Thursday.
I know I can't do Thursday.
Glenn, how about you?
Prefer not Thursday.
Sounds like we're back on Tuesday.
Well, no, somebody's ox is gored. Three oxes can be gored simultaneously here. One's Tuesday, one's Wednesday, one Thursday. So I don't know, who was it that sacrificed the kid, split him in half?
So,
Steve, would the world come to an end if you had your November meeting on Tuesday, October 29th?
We'll find out. World would come to an end.
Well, the only issue is advance notices, what's the deadline for
I'm
applications?
away that week, but
Just,
No, but I could do the 29th.
because the Tuesdays get clogged up. The Tuesday after Election Day is Board of Trustees.
Right.
Then the following Tuesday is empty, as far as I know, but then you have Board of Trustees again.
Well, I
And
mean,
the second Thursday in November is Planning Board.
if the board's at 7:30, the election results
know
don't start
what
coming in
the
till
ERB
9 o'clock.
It's a Wednesday.
True,
Yeah,
true.
Results don't start coming in till 9
Third
o'clock, so we could just, maybe we're better off. I still may not, my plan is up, I may be out of town, I don't know yet.
Glenn, can you keep it on Tuesday, election day?
yeah.
All right, so then we'll keep it on election day, all right? Yeah, okay, very good, thank you. So now we have a motion to adjourn.
Yes, so moved.
Okay, meeting is adjourned. Okay.